So we have to divide it. Spot the negative 1. Haman si negative 1. Okay, so kani. Just have to create a straight line here. And then positive 2. So we have here. So this is our first region, our second region, and our third region. So yat ko ha, para di ikaw maglabad. So we have here region 1, region 2, and region 3. So on the first region, what does it indicate? So the values are less than negative 1. So we have here x is less than negative 1. On the second region, we have x is greater than negative 1, but naman dali ang linya, that's less than, x is greater than negative 1 but less than 2. Now on the third region, we have the value for our x that is greater than 2. Do you follow? So on the first region, these are the values. This is extending to the left side to negative infinity. So we have our x, that's x is less than negative 1. That means ang values ni x ana niya is mas gamay pa sa negative 1. We have negative 2, negative 3, and so on. Now, on the third region, x is greater than 2. So the values of our x here is mas dako pa sa 2, such as 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So in here, ang ato x, this is greater than negative 1 but less than 2. Okay na? So next, our next step is number 5, to test each region using the inequality. Let's make a table. On our first column, we have the region. In our second column, we have the test point. Kaning test point, mahanap nato na siya sa number lines. And then we have the inequality. So sa inequality, we only have to substitute the values to the quadratic inequality. And then we have the status. The status here falls in only two options. It could either be true or false. Okay. We have 3 regions man. I-divide lang nato siya into 3. Okay. What are those regions? Region 1, region 2, and region 3. So sa test points in region 1, we could have these numbers, these integers, or these values, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and so on. Since naaman diri naka-indicate na x is less than negative 1. So we'll have negative 2 para di ka radyo bunog mag-solve. Next, for region 2, we have si x kuno is greater than negative 1 but less than 2. So we have 0. We could use this as a test point. Next, for region 3, x is greater than 2. So we could have 3, 4, 5, and so on. But ang pinakagamay is 3. So 3 lang ato gamiton. Now in here, as indicated in step number 5, test each region using the inequality. So we are going to use these values as a substitute to our inequality. Unsa ganitong atong inequality? Unsa ganitong ato factor? We have x minus 2 and x plus 1 is greater than 0. Okay, so negative 2. I-try na to pag-substitute. So negative 2 minus 2, we have 2 plus 1. Okay, so we have here, we already substituted negative 2 to our variable x. That's negative 2 minus 2, that's negative 4. And negative 2 plus 1, that is negative 1 is greater than 0. So negative 4 times negative 1, that's 4. Copy ang inequality and then 0. So is 4 greater than 0? True or false? Okay, that is true, of course. Now for the next test point, we are going to use 0. So gagmayo na to kay di sigo sa box. Now we have here, copy ang factor ng inequality, that's x minus 2 times x plus 1 is greater than 0. Substituting 0 to our variable x, we get 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 1, copy ang inequality, that's 0. So 0 minus 2, that's negative 2. 0 plus 1, that's positive 1 or simply 1. Copy an inequality, that's 0. Okay, so we have here negative 2 times 1, that's negative 2. Copy the sign and 0. So now let us test. Is negative 2 greater than 0? True or false? Is negative 2 greater than 0? Alright, that is false. Now for the last test points, we have decided to use number 3. So still, copy gihapon ang inequality. We have x minus 2 times x plus 1 is greater than 0. Substituting 3 to our variable x, we have 3 minus 2 times 3 plus 1 is greater than 0. So 3 minus 2, that is 1, times 3 plus 1, that's 4. Copy greater than 0. So 1 times 4, that is 4 greater than 0. Now, is 4 greater than 0? Yes or not? Yes or no? True or false? 4 is greater than 0. So that is true. Now we're done with the steps. We have moved all the terms to one side. We have simplified and factored the quadratic equation. We have already found the roots for the corresponding quadratic equation. And then we have used its roots to divide the number line into regions as well. And then we also have used the test points to apply in the said inequality. So now we are going to use or to make another number line or a graph, a line here, and then we have 0 as the point of origin, extending to both sides. We have here all the positive numbers, and on the left side we have all the negative numbers. So by using the test point, we could now have our solution. So since negative 2 is true, so that means negative 1 is a solution here. And then since 0, we have the status here false, then it is not considered as a solution. And we have here 3, that is true. So 3, that is under the region 3, we can have that in region 3. So 2 is also a solution. So we have here ang ato 2, and then little circle here or a dot, and then also a negative 1 kani. So ang ato solution is from 2 to the right side, numbers greater than 2, and from negative 1 to the left side, or numbers that are negative or less than negative 1. Okay. Do you follow? So that's it for today. Thank you for listening.